that is. So again, like a quick follow-up question. Can we like for example, when there are instances that some app does something or some AI robot does something which is unacceptable to human society, say a crime, commits a crime or something of that sort. So can there not be a programming within the robot, or can the code not be set in a way that the robot or the machine doesn't know how to commit a murder or something like that? Can there be no self-regulating mechanism?
Self-regulating mechanism, which is actually a very cool thing. We are not at a stage where AI has the power to think. It's still it's we have not reached that level. We have just reached the level where we have a data set, we understand the pattern, and we predict something. It's very stupid. The AI algorithm as of right now, it's very, very stupid. It's almost equal to a 5-year old. Like you show him the picture of dog 5 times, you show him the picture of a cat 5 times, and you tell him that this is dog, this is a cat, and he'll probably guess it right every time. And there is no certainty that the AI algorithm would do the same. He can say a dog a cat and a cat a dog. So I don't think that is yet a question. But yeah, again, there is like an algorithm which is called generated adversarial network, which is used like there's a generator part and one is the discriminator. So we given a data set, say there are multiple images of say um, people, different people, right? And it has faces. So machine tries to learn from these images and tries to make a new image which does not exist. And now when this image is built, it goes back to the discriminator, and the discriminator says that how good is this image, and if this is something matching to the data set. If it is matching, it goes again back to the generator, it works on it, and then goes back to the discriminator, and when the discriminator approves, it goes up you know into play. A very good example of this is deepfake, if you guys have heard about it. There have been
Mm.
images of Albert Einstein coming to life. There have been, you speaking something, which is, if you see on,
Right.
uh, like a lot of apps on this program have been coming in that you could lip sync with Elon Musk. It was a huge, like people asked for bitcoins out of like Elon Musk was asking for bitcoins. So this was one of the examples of it. And so this is something like most people, say that AI is like, at least in the near future, is not going to take up the jobs of humans. Rather, there is always a requirement of a human in the loop if we are working with AI so that it could moderate what predictions it's making, because at the end, it's just a silly mathematical formula.
Right. So also like I just one small follow-up, like so the question of AI taking up jobs, I like till now what I have understood and read is that largely it will take jobs of the unskilled labor, which are like very disguised unemployment, or as what we see in India, like we are employing 5 people for a job that can be done by two. So 3 people are
Yeah.
like just filtering the data, and two are like doing the actual work. So
So
AI
this
will
is
step
like,
in the shoes of the 3 people.
yeah.
Right, right. Go ahead.
So I'm very um, you know, precise explanation to this is that AI won't replace people. Rather, people using AI would replace people who are not using AI, which is, I would say, the best example of how things are going to change over the years.
Right, right. I mean,
So
is more
again,
appropriate example.
one more
Yeah.
application of AI, which I'm reading in articles, is that they are using AI to monitor whether a person has COVID or not. If that happens, then that would be great. Yeah, I mean, if you don't have to wait 4 5 hours, you get your test within like a matter of few
Yeah, it's
seconds. That's
already done. I
yeah,
think
it is.
if you search it up on like Nature, which is a journal, it has already been published. I have worked on the data set myself. So the Radiological Association of North America released this data set of around 600, 700 people who were suffering with COVID, and they had the chest X-ray of these people. And so if you obviously train the model on it, you'll get a prediction whether, as per on the basis of the chest X-ray, whether the person has COVID or not. But the thing is, the application of these algorithms is very tough. So this is the basic factor that we still don't know how to apply it. Reliance could do it maybe.
And like
Like
there was
so, नहीं बोलो बोलो.
there was one more application, I would say, that they monitor the blood sample or some other sample, and they tell that 5 days down the line which part of the human body will be most affected by COVID, and what will be the exact problem. So for example, if I had COVID, then they would do some test and they would be able to monitor 5 days in advance that what will happen, and so that they can start the treatment much before.
Beforehand. Yeah. So this is like one of the things I've been working on with. I've been working this with Professor Opia Frieder at Georgetown University. So this is something I've been doing. We took the the medical data of like Taiwan. We used their national medical records of like millions of people, and then we had say each of us have a medical condition. We have a certain allergy. We have something diagnosed. We are diagnosed with something, and everybody has something which a doctor might know, might not know. So a certain medication could affect each person. Was to create. We used a technique called graph kernels. And it is like one of the most upcoming techniques in the deep learning algorithms, and we try to predict that if say, like me, if I'm a person, I have some medical history or some medical problem in my family, and it's going through the genetics, how would this particular prescription would affect my health, and if it's going to affect me, what's going to go next, like in what way it's going to lead to. And we did this, and we are actually working with it. And yeah, and it's actually one of the most futuristic things which AI in medicine is going through to. And it's really exciting to see how you could see if the prescription you're getting is going to kill you or not. So it's really good.
Also, like have you seen the movie Lucy?
Let's see. I'm not sure.
Okay. So in that movie, they show that what happens when a human uses 100% of their mental potential. And like there's a scene in which this character goes to a lady, and she just simply like on from an outer appearance, she tells what the person is having, what ailments is the person having, and then she gives a medical report like only from the outer appearance that you have like diabetes or some XYZ things, and you
Yeah.
need these many prescriptions. So do you think that this is anytime possible in future with AI?
I don't think, like, at least till I'm alive, I don't think this is gonna come up, because this is, if you see the way it's shown in movies, or it's shown in comics, and very layman perspective, that we consider anything which humans cannot do and machine can do, it's artificial intelligence, right? But it's not that
Right.
way. AI should be, it's like in a very terminological way, AI is just the statistical analysis of a data to come up with a function, and it's a generalized function that any x comma y point, when put in that f of x, we get the same y, right?
Hmm.
If that makes sense.
Right.
So this
Right.
is how we are working, and the whole concept of this and like ultra intelligence or super intelligence, super AI, it is still a dream that we need to achieve.
So, okay, firstly, so how do you juggle? So, what is your day in your life? So, a normal day when you apply to foreign universities, you build apps, you help out foreign, professors. in revolutionary things in AI, and also managing your school. So what was your day in
So
your life like? So when you were in like
I
10th?
yeah, so I'll tell you this crazy schedule. I do not recommend it to anybody. I say there should be a disclaimer not to follow it. It's called the 4 hour schedule. So it basically means that you need to get a 4 hours sleep every day, at any point of the day. You just need 4 hours of sleep. This way, you could maximize your efficiency to 20 to 21 hours and get the most out of a day. And then any point of the time when you are feeling that no, you cannot just push ahead, you go to sleep for 4 hours, then you wake up. So it's like you're working on naps. So I did that for a couple of 6, 7 months. Um, even like even today, my sleep schedule is pretty messed up. But I'm trying to get better with it. But this is something I followed. So it used to be like just doing things according to like as they are coming in. Like the school is in the day, so I'll see that okay, what time do I have between my schools? Then I am working at the night with my research stuff. Then during the evening, I'm working with my own studies, and then I have to manage my college applications. I need some time for my own sanity to stay sane and make sense because uh, because anybody could get you know all uh, tired and again especially in lockdown, mental health being a huge concern. So it's really essential for you to keep a check on your mental health and physical health as well. So this is something I followed, and I do not recommend it to anybody to follow. Please don't do it if you're listening this. Get a good sleep. But yeah, this is what I did.
So after hearing your routine, so there are a few persons which I can recall of. One is young Sheldon. So the way he asks questions at age 9, he's in college and asking very smart questions to and the second person is Elon Musk. So I have watched many of his videos on YouTube. So he says he also sleeps like 4 hours every day. He used to work 22 hours or
I don't know. I
like
don't
that. Each
follow
living
him much.
second when you are not sleeping, he works or something like
Yeah,
that. Yeah, and I've also heard that
that's the thing.
yeah, so he works in a system called it is called 5 minute what do you say slots. So he has each new thing he'll do in every 5 minutes, so that he keeps a track of what he's doing without wasting even a minute. So like
Yeah, like this. I not 5 minutes. Obviously not. This is crazy. I haven't done that. But during last summers, I was like, I had this schedule for like 21 whole 22 hours watch, like everything put it up on my Google calendar, and it was like full hour to hour to hour schedule, and everything lined up like what's gonna go next, what's gonna go next, and that's how I was like working all the day, like everything 6 a.m. this 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So that actually helps to maintain a schedule if you're working.
hope we can also apply. We can draw some serious motivation from your routine, by the way.
Right.
Not kidding. So Rajesh,
Don't
what do you?
don't please. Just go with the Google Calendar, nothing else.
I feel like a criminal, man, because now I follow a 6 hour sleep schedule. I try to
It's
balance
good.
my
It's
sleep
actually
for
good.
6 hours.
It's good. It's actually you should get 8, but 6 is good.
Yeah, something closer to 8 is what I also had in mind. But what
Yeah.
I still have to, and I guess many like youth in the country, a large chunk of the youth have need to streamline the way they are dividing their hours of a day, which is
Uh-huh.
like a epitome of systematic division of work is what Satvik has just now told, and I
He
feel like a
basically
criminal now.
yeah. So he lives every day like we live, a few days when our exams are there. So those 5 days of our exam, how we live, Rajas, sleeping 3 hours and constantly worried about. He
Yeah,
lives it every day, literally. So each day is a new
I,
example.
that's a really nice comparison. Exactly.
That's
Yes.
really nice.
Very well put. Very well put. Same.
So the next thing being that you run a blog called Techvik, right? So
Yeah.
how do you manage to consistently put out, very good quality content over a, matter of, many months now? So
It's a
what
yeah.
keeps you motivated?
So it's more of an organization with we currently have like 70 people in the team. We have people from all over the world. We have people from all universities: Harvard, Yale, Princeton, Stanford, all the Ivy Leagues, Technical University, Munich, Hong Kong University. So like all over the place. And these people have came together not to So again, working with TechWick won't obviously benefit them in any way because they have obviously achieved a lot and putting up about that they are a writer or they contributed to TechWick wouldn't make a huge difference upon their resume, right? But their contribution to TechWick would actually make a huge contribution to the community and to the TechWick itself. So I actually, when I reach out to people, I tend to explain them the motive. So I started with TechWick with I would say I was back in September 2019. Google Pixel 3 was launched, and I was fed up by the bizarre design that they implemented after the huge success of Pixel 2 XL, which was like seriously the game changer in the whole tech industry. And Pixel 3 just dipped, and I was pretty, frustrated by how things have like turned after Pixel 2 to Pixel 3. And I wrote this article. Like I have been into writing for a long time, and I wrote this article. I sent it over to Verge, CNN, and a few other publishing medias. I tried, and they basically said, no, we cannot publish this. First of all, you're not. Sometimes for a few agencies said that you need to be a writer at our place, and a few said that we all have um, certain relations or certain policies with different companies, and they could obviously not violate it. And then I tried putting it up on Medium because that's the place go when you need to publish it. But there wasn't a lot of traction, like 4 or 5 people reading it. That won't make a difference. So I wanted to create a platform where anybody, any interest in technology and science and whole STEM field could write and people could read and learn from it. And this content should be in a way presented in a way that any layman could understand, and it should not be just for professionals, because for professionals there are already book chapters and journals and million of things that you could learn. But somebody like you being from a law background, if you go onto a blog and try to understand about, like, our recent article was on resting state fMRI scans and how AI algorithms is applied to it, and various different articles on AI and machine learning and federated learning is there. And people who are expert in these fields are writing on this. And it's been going on for, like, I would say it's been over a year since we have been working like this. We have been more and more people getting added to the team each day, and more and more people, writing and contributing. We have actually paused posting right now because we are coming up with something big soon. So we are coming with, you could say, a 2.0 version or something, but that's coming in soon. And we hit like 1.4, 1.5 million people recently from 135 plus countries. People have been reading our content and, you know, have, uh, you know, gaining something out of it. But one biggest success that I personally felt is that one of her writers, her name is Nohela. She is from Moscow. She is a school teacher, and she uses these blogs which are uploaded to teach the kids at her school. She gives out the link to the article and discuss the article, and try to, because obviously this is something like very heartfelt, that how in a very positive way you could impact with a, very, it's a small thing that you are just writing and posting, and so many people are reading and getting benefits out of it. So yeah, we've been doing this and moving forward.
It is amazing, especially the part that now you are getting so much of recognition that even schools are imbibing your articles in sort of their curriculum, sort of.
Yeah.
Exciting, man. Exciting stuff. Crazy exciting stuff, I would say. And I
Yeah,
mean,
that's
achieving.
like, it was same for me. Like I never expected this boom. I actually spoke to one of my close friends from Cornell. He joined in the team like few almost um 8 or 9 months back. His name is Sharif, and I was speaking to him. He is going to graduate this year, and I spoke to him that I was asking him like, why would you join Techvik? Like, why? So he told me that when he was a kid, he wanted a platform like this to actually write, and he never had a platform. So if he could work and grow this platform and provide many new kids with something which he never had, so that was the, like, I understood the meaning of tech. He told me better than I ever knew.
Right. TechVik is more than a blog now. That is for
Yeah,
sure.
that I think we need to change that tagline. It's more than a blog.
Right. Great. Great. Crazy stuff, man. Crazy stuff. Kudos for that.
Thank you.
Again, so the next thing being that, so we already having so much fun. So next, move on to the next round on your fingertips. It is kind of a rapid fire round. So
Okay.
very rapidly. Okay, I'll fire the questions. You rapidly answer them.
Okay.
Firstly, being that so you have done everything. So what are your goals for the future now? Any one, two things which you want to do?
I tell you my biggest goal. My biggest goal is to win the Nobel Prize, which is crazy. I know it's very far fetched. It is very, very far fetched, but it's a dream worth realizing. I wish to be first computer scientist winning a Nobel in medicine, working in this field of computer science and the intersection between medicine. So this is my goal in the future. Also winning the Alan Turing Award, which is because I have been deeply inspired by Alan Turing, and he has been just the person I look up to, and how history has not treated him right. And it would be an honor.
So the next thing being that, so you have read a lot. So any one or two books you recommend to also people who are quite familiar with the subject, and also people like us who are not so much. So any two books on AI, which to read.
For computer science, I would say actually Professor Andrew came up with his book, Machine Learning Yearning. That's the name of his book. And I think I really enjoyed it. He recently published it, and I'll send you the link to it, and probably you could put it in description. And which was actually like something I really, really enjoyed. And also, there is this book called An Introduction to Ethics in Robotics and AI by Professor Christopher and Alling. So that is also a book I highly, highly recommend for everybody to read while working in computer science. So yeah, that's the two books I recommend.
Right. Absolutely. Uh, just a last question before we end. Any three or say two like ventures you think would define the future for AI? Ventures or say any two inventions or discoveries that you think would
Invention.
change the way we look at AI, the way we look
I
at
mean,
world.
it's so hard to say that what new algorithms would be created, because we never thought of like we could see patterns in images. We never thought that we could create new images using old images. We never thought we could predict something using your old medical history combining with the new medical history, and but things coming, and we just keep on getting astonished. So it's really, really hard to predict what's coming in future. But the thing is, I'm pretty sure that few sectors which would be highly impacted with AI would be the medical facilities, the whole cloud computing and data democratization, and I would say the automations in self-driving cars, and the computer vision, which is a really upcoming field. And also in higher computing, it is very useful, working between what cores of the GPU should work, the optimizations of GPU. It is also sometimes AI based. And one more could be how natural language processing and computer vision combines to read the old Vedic scriptures all over the places, like in the world, and understanding. So I guess that could be a great use, but I think we are a bit far from it as of right now, but hopefully in future we'll see it.
Right. With this, we come to a very unfortunate end because I mean, I have a lot to talk to, but again, as of now, we are short of, like, we have done with our questions that we had. So thank you so much, Satvik, for joining us today and for sharing all your insights. And I hope you have enjoyed the interview and it was not
Yes,
too monotonous for you.
it was amazing. It was amazing, man. Thank you for having me over. It was really fun chatting with you all.